Okay guys, one more upgrade that I'm going to do here is I'm going to replace the belt on this thing. If you got higher hours on a machine, it's probably a good idea to change your belt out. I believe symptoms of like having a bad belt is at slow speeds it kind of feels a little sluggish. I don't really feel any issues, I don't think, but with the hours that this thing has on it, and basically I don't know what was done to it before I had it, I'm going to do a belt replacement. And this job really on these Rangers is not as hard as some people think. You've got your clutch cover right here, and you got bolts all the way around it. I've been able to get at all the bolts with a 1/4-inch wrench with a long extension and a short extension. 3/8 I believe is the socket size. You're gonna have to come in here and you got to pull off your exhaust vent. And if you have your intake coming in here, mine's gone because I snorkeled it. But if you have your intake in here, this is more difficult than I can just pull this out. But if you got your intake there, it's much more difficult to get this out. But you don't have to take off the intake. The intake is actually aluminum and part of the whole motor system. So you don't have to take off your intake. So once you get all your bolts loose all the way around, and then your intake taken off, which I'm going to do right now, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, I got my cover off. You can see there's the belt. Looks pretty old. No, it's not been changed, don't look like. There's not even no lettering left on it. So there's the clutch. There's the secondary clutch that's attached to the transmission right there. You can look at that, and this belt actually seems awful loose. I mean, it's not tight at all. You can see that. I'm not sure. Seems like it's supposed to be a lot tighter than that, but maybe it's really wore out. I don't know. We'll see when I get the new belt on. I'll set you up here, try to show you how to get this belt off. Okay, it's not really a very easy place to show you guys anything because it's pretty difficult to get in there. But basically, what you want to do is you want to kind of pull the belt together. Kind of pull it together. And then, well, you can see it'll loosen up. And then just roll the belt off the clutch. And like I said, this would be a whole lot easier if I could take this cover off. But I'd have to take out my battery to do that. But I think I can get it here. Getting the new one on might be a little more difficult. So there's the belt. It is a Polaris belt. Okay guys, found some interesting things. This is why if you have an older Ranger, you're probably going to want to look into changing the belt. Even if you don't have higher hours, rubber breaks down over time. I mean, that's just what happens with rubber. So, you know, it doesn't last forever. Look at that. Yep. Look at that crack in there. This thing was getting ready to leave me stranded. You know, without this, when this breaks, you're not going anywhere. So, pretty good idea that I went in there and got this thing out of here. Another thing you can see the cracking on the inside of these deals, and it looks like this is kind of glazed over the edges. Comparing it to the new belt, looks like the new belt has quite a bit more width. So I'm not sure if this belt has been worn down. I noticed it was kind of loose on the clutch there. And it wouldn't surprise me if this was the original belt on this 6x6. Okay, so what I decided to go with was the Gates G-Force. Supposed to be a performance belt, I guess. Better than the factory belts, although the factory belts I think are hard to beat. You will notice it's got ribs on the inside and the outside. I believe they said that's for more airflow on the belt. So we see here. I guess I get to slide that one on. I think before I slide that new one on, you can see my hands from this belt. I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to kind of clean up these clutches. You don't want to get no grease or grime or anything that's going to leave any kind of residue. I'm going to try some of my grease and wax remover that I use for painting, and I'm just going to kind of wipe this contact surfaces where the belt comes in contact with that clutch, just to kind of clean it off. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get to installing that new belt. Okay, so we're putting the new belt in, and you can see I'm going to have to do this without having my light, because it died on me because I forgot to plug it in last night. So hopefully you guys are going to be able to see how this goes on. Like I said, this one might be a little more difficult to get on because of it being new and the other one was so old. But you get it on there, like I said, if I get this cover out of the way, it'd be a whole lot easier. So you gotta just get it started and just kind of roll it on. You don't want to get your fingers under the belt, because that will be bad. So there it is on. Still has slack in the belt there, but I believe the slack that was allowing this to go back and forth isn't there. So I believe it's a better fit. So now that it's on there, and when I did clean the clutches off, they actually weren't that dirty. I didn't get much dirt off them with the grease and wax remover. So new belt's on. Now all I got to do is put the cover back on, put all the bolts back in, and we are good to go on that. We'll give her a test drive. Okay, so I got my bolts all tight, all back in. Don't go crazy on these bolts, guys. They are just bolting into plastic, so they were not on very tight. You can feel when they stop. Don't crank them down too much. I got the clutch cover back on. I got my exhaust back on. I'm gonna button my seat back up. Drop my box down. I'm gonna go take this thing for a ride. I'm interested to see how this belt feels. Looking at that old belt, how bad it looked. I'm expecting a much better feel on this clutch, so only one way to tell, and let's take it out. Okay, a couple days with the new belt. Running really good. Way better than the old belt. It's smoother takeoff, smoother cruising. It goes better than before, and I believe I got more speed than before too. I thought it was the that governor that was kind of holding it back and restricting it, and it still might be some of that, but the belt was a big problem. That belt was completely worn out. Should have probably changed that when I got the Ranger. Probably knowing this was a 6x6, and probably somebody used it as a work vehicle, because usually that's what a 6x6 is. It does work, so probably should have been one of the first things I checked and changed. But I got a new belt now. Hopefully that G-force is gonna last longer than that one. Give me a little more performance. We'll see. I guess I'm gonna end this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.